So we all know that one of Wuthering Waves' strong points is being able to do better than a lot of its competitors. Whether that's things like character designs or just small quality of life updates, they do things better. And that's what brings a lot of people over to the game, their quality. I think that it does a really good job at bringing a lot of quality to the game, allowing players to have a better experience. But recently there's an announcement by one of their competitors, Honkai Star Rail, which has actually shaken up a couple of the players, and I just wanted to discuss this and talk about how Wuthering Waves actually compares to this, and what they're doing to make their game even more high quality, and what they've been doing from the start. Because it seems like now with a massive influx of all of these gacha games, not just Wuthering Waves or Hoyo games or anything like that, it definitely seems like people are looking for the best quality and the best time they can possibly have, because they don't want to be playing every single gacha game that comes out. But before I get into this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy it, and also go over to my Twitch where I'm going to be streaming live. We had a really great live stream last stream. We actually talked about a couple of things to do with the gacha sphere, and we talked about fan service and the gacha community and things like that, and reacted to a video on it. So I definitely recommend coming to join us next time by just going down to that pinned comment down below, or the description where you can follow me, and there you'll get a notification so you never miss a stream. But yeah, it's an overall fun time, so I definitely recommend you come join us, especially if you like this content, and yeah, I'll see you guys over there. But let's get back into this video. So the announcement that was actually put out was Star Rail Universe mentioned it, saying in 2.6 certain iOS devices can now select the 120 frame rate option in settings, graphics settings, FPS option. Now this is pretty big for Honkai Star Rail, I think. I think that, you know, being able to get a higher frame rate in game has been something that a lot of Hoyoverse fans have been waiting for. I don't think we've even got it in Genshin Impact yet, so again, it would be nice to see them implement it into some other games, and it does look like they're kind of thinking about adding it. But one thing that people were very annoyed about, and obviously this person in the comments definitely furthers that sentiment, saying, why is it always Apple devices, man? Now, if you don't know, Hoyoverse actually has a contract with Apple, or they at least work very closely, meaning that Apple pretty much get the most of the share whenever it comes to mobiles, and obviously this 120 frame rate option. Now obviously this doesn't mean that in the future it can come out to Android too, but it definitely seems like there is a certain bias towards one of the companies which people aren't happy about, seeing as there's a lot of people who do play this game on other devices like Samsung devices and also other Android devices, which again, if you think in China and places like that, they do use a lot of Android devices as well. I'm pretty sure Apple is the second biggest mobile device, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it is, meaning that there's probably a lot of people over there who aren't very happy with this either. And what obviously this makes you think, Wuthering Waves have actually been working a lot on their graphics and the, you know, just improving it overall, with one of the factors being RTX. Now obviously RTX isn't something that you can really add to mobile unless you had an absolute giga mobile which could run like a Nvidia graphics card, but that's never going to happen. But one of the things that came with a lot of this technology and a lot of this kind of research was 120 FPS, which Kuro Games have been very hard working on, because again, they've been improving the quality of the game overall in terms of just the overall graphics, and 120 FPS is one of those ways. I think one of the ways that Wuthering Waves just did it better is that they didn't really discriminate against what kind of graphics card someone had, because you could run it on both Nvidia and also AMD, which are the main two. Now obviously this is very well received by a lot of players, as you know, it means that everyone with every kind of GPU can kind of test this out. Now, obviously if you don't have one of the newer GPUs and you have like an older one, I don't think it was actually included on the list. I'm pretty sure it's only like 30 series and above. It was kind of disappointing to see that, but I think the overall kind of, you know, graphical limitations would be quite hard, and even my 30 series card does struggle to run like 120 FPS as well as like max settings. So again, I couldn't even imagine what it would be like on an older card, so maybe that is just for some like safer purposes. But it definitely seems like with the Star Rail case, it's just due to a contract and not due to any kind of, you know, logistics. Now, obviously it can be done in the future. I'm pretty sure it will be done in the future, but it is kind of disappointing to see that. And obviously, you know, this is only for PC. I forgot to mention this, but the 120 FPS for Wuwa is only for PC, and we haven't actually seen it come to mobile yet, which is what Star Rail are doing. Now, if we go over to this article from Sportskeeda, they said all phones can play Wuthering Waves at 120 FPS during beta. Now, this was a massive topic whenever the game first came out, and whenever it was in beta testing, saying that playing Wuthering Waves at 120 FPS was possible during the beta period. However, it was kept at 60 FPS across all platforms upon launch. We expect the game to bring back high frame rate support down the line, considering its graphical fidelity. The new JRPG, which I don't think is true, I don't think it is a JRPG, but again, will inevitably require a powerful chipset to support high frame rates. And again, they go through a lot of the phones that you can actually run this on. You know, it was a massive plethora of phones. You know, Android have so many different brands and stuff. We've got Asus, we've got Motorola, OnePlus, Redmi, Samsung, you know, Xiaomi, and then obviously you got the iPhones as well, going right back to the iPhone 13, which is great. And yeah, it seems like, they were testing something to do with 120 FPS. So we'll have to see, if that kind of develops in the future. I definitely think that, having 120 FPS on PC is just the start, and that they're, testing the waters to see if people like 120 FPS and stuff. And I think during the beta, whenever all phones could run it, I think they were also testing it too. Now, obviously it has been like 5 months, but the thing is, you need to, kind of test this stuff a lot and get it perfect so that no one has an issue with it, else it could be really, really bad. And it seems like if this does come out in the future, they aren't going to be very discriminatory against, what kind of phone you have or anything like that. Seeing as in the beta, you could, use it on all of these devices that they mention in this article, and possibly even more. And obviously, they're probably working on a lot of other stuff as well, including the PlayStation version, which is still yet to be announced. I know I bring this up quite a lot in videos, but again, it is really exciting to see this kind of stuff going on, and I'm pretty sure the PlayStation version is what's holding a lot of stuff back. And hopefully whenever we finally see the release of this, we could actually see some kind of change, because again, PlayStation 5 is very heavily known for 120 FPS support, and that was one of the big selling factors whenever it first came out, is the fact that we don't have to be stuck to 60 FPS on a console anymore. So maybe they're working on 120 FPS on a console, which again will be absolutely amazing to see. And obviously that furthers their research into mobile stuff, which again, I do admit that, mobile 120 FPS and increasing the FPS on mobile is a lot more difficult, because again, a lot of mobiles aren't that great at running stuff, especially, high graphical gacha games. But also graphically isn't the only thing that PlayStation is holding back. I also think, and a lot of other people think, that PlayStation is currently holding back a lot of the banners, because as you know, the current rate for the banners at the moment is you have new character, then a rerun with a new 4-star, and then another new character. So there's a break in between each one, which obviously feels quite slow, as a lot of games do tend to bring out 5 stars literally every single patch, which again is great to see, but Wuthering Waves just aren't doing that. And people speculate that this is because of the PlayStation, and that Kuro Games want to wait until the PlayStation users have the opportunity to get into the game, play it a little bit, so that they can then, pull on the characters that are coming out every single update, instead of, the slower ones. Because again, I can totally understand why, Wuthering Waves and Kuro Games don't want these people to miss out. Now, you could argue whether, they should just do it anyways, because it doesn't really matter, and most of the audience is going to be on PC and mobile anyways. But I definitely do think that waiting for PlayStation and waiting for this version to come out to, to increase the amount of banners they put out is okay. And that's a pretty decent strategy if that is the case, because again, it will draw in a lot of players to play the game. And yeah, they'll just have pretty much everything set out for them. Yeah, just overall, I just wanted to talk about the overall quality of life kind of stuff going on in Wuthering Waves and how this compares to these gacha games. Obviously, you can probably see by now that it is a little bit better than Star Rail and Genshin and stuff. Now, to Genshin and Star Rail's credit, they've managed to get stuff out really quickly on places like PlayStation. Obviously, you could literally play, I think, Honkai Star Rail on launch on PlayStation, which I think is great. And that's just a testament to how big, Mihoyo and Hoyoverse are as a company, and getting these contacts with PlayStation. And obviously, we've also seen Genshin come out on Xbox as well. So yeah, it seems like they have a lot of contacts, and it seems like a lot of these companies are opening up. So maybe we'll see, Wuthering Waves coming over to Xbox soon. But it would have been nicer to see, Wuthering Waves coming to PlayStation whenever it came out. But that's just not the case. And I definitely think that Hoyoverse has done a better job whenever it comes to that. But that's pretty much plainly off of contacts and just being popular in the first place. And hopefully this issue does get fixed for the Honkai Star Rail users, and that, they do manage to get 120 FPS for, some of the other devices that aren't Apple. But again, I don't see it happening very, very soon. And hopefully we do get that option coming to Wuthering Waves as well. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Do you think that 120 FPS is going to change much in terms of, the mobile scene of Wuthering Waves, or even some other gacha games as well? Or do you think that, it's kind of pointless and that we don't really need it? Again, I don't really see the kind of point of it, just because, it's a mobile device. It's not really going to make much of a difference. And not everybody is looking to run the game at maximum quality on a mobile compared to something like PC or maybe console. But again, maybe you guys disagree with that, and I would like to know in the comments. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. As I said, go over to my Twitch where I'm going to be streaming live. I definitely recommend checking it out and just following me so that you know whenever I go live. And yeah, just make sure you come and catch a stream. But yeah, that's all I got, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.